What is going on, YouTube and Y'all Squad? This your boy Yakrates. This your review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 10. Really quickly, I want to apologize about last week. I had did it through StreamYard, which is where I'm at. The thing is, I forgot to add myself to StreamYard, which is why there was no audio. And I thought that when I exported, it exported two files. So I went and uploaded the second file after realizing there was no audio. It was the file from the previous week. So look, learning pains here. Leave me alone. Okay. But this is season 16, episode 11. We start with Angela and Charles. Like I said, Angela lets us know, what he got going on, that he is pension earning. She gonna stay with him. Angela says their love language is going back and forth. She says in their interview, says that she's trying to give him an out. He says that I don't need an out, which this is kind of letting me know or gives me the feeling of Angela tries to give people outs in certain situations, kind of similar to what Shamia does. I'm just saying. Charles is asked in the interview if he loves her. He doesn't answer. That is alarming. Angela feels that she needs to talk to her sister because they've been avoiding each other with everything dealing with her daughter and the comments made to her daughter. Charles feels that she just needs to walk away and let them hit a wall, because his thing is, as long as you keep helping them, they're never going to get what they need to get. And he's like, I've been there, done that. And, he's pretty much from that school of hard knocks. But at the same time, sometimes there do need to be boundaries, standards and whatnot in place. And sometimes, people only gonna learn when, they're forced to learn. But, whatever. And she says she's going to make a date with her mother. So then we get Cynthia and Shamia. They talk about last night, because this is the day after the event that Portia had. Shamia says that, she sent her mom a text before she arrived at the event because she felt some sadness and didn't know why. Hey, look, that's your intuition, that's your discernment. And again, I'm look, we all need to kind of go with that, first thought when it comes to that. You feel what I'm saying? Shamia claims that the girls were the one saying that Portia wasn't a friend to her, and it wasn't her. So she's saying that she was talking with them and they were coming to her saying how they didn't feel that Portia was being a friend to her. And she was sort of kind of defending that. But we can only go based off of what they show on camera. But again, we don't know what was said off camera. Shamia says that, she downplays a lot when it comes to their relationship. We see it. Cynthia says that she sees similarities between Shamia and Portia versus her and Nene. We are not going down that rabbit hole, but okay. Portia had also said that their parents have issues. So the mothers, and her mom doesn't pretty much care for Shamia and feels that Shamia is like her mother. The apple don't fall too far from the tree. Their parents have had their ups and downs. And it's a lot that's there that isn't being discussed. And I'm kind of one of those where if you're gonna throw it out there, let's talk about it. Don't sit here and tease me with a good time and don't give it to me. So I'm gonna let that alone, right? So then we get Brett. She's getting ready to go to a wedding. Yeah, that's my feelings on that. And let's see. Shamia is picking out her single that she's gonna drop, and she's upset that Portia isn't there. Then we get Angela, Portia, and Shamia bowling. Cynthia brings up what's going on with PJ, and then Portia want to talk about the divorce of it all. Don't care. She even brings up the Shamia of all and the event. I still don't care. And the only thing that Portia pretty much said is that she's already going through a divorce and don't want to divorce her friend. Okay. So now we get Drew and Mama Jeanette, or who Terrence like to call Mother Superior. We find out that Ralph is trying to have Tanya, her attorney, recused, and he's trying to get 40% of her current LLC and her new, and the one that she's about to build. Ralph is took away her access to the house by removing her access code, and then she had to check into a hotel. Now that's some diabolical stuff right there. It's petty, and again, I'm for the petty, but that is diabolical. And Drew tells her mom to pray for her enemies and those that want her downfall. Now, look, I don't believe in that. Drew, you need to take your butt to the book of Psalms and you need to sit here and speak against that thing. Okay, talking about some pray for them. And again, yeah, you can pray for them, but you can also pray for them. But I'm going to let that alone. So we get Angela with her mama, LaMargaret. So the mom said she just got keys to a new house, wants to be self-sufficient. Angela said they spent almost $500,000 or paid almost $500,000 for the house that her mother was in with her sister and her daughter. And Angela kind of feels good that she doesn't have to take care of her mother anymore, but she still kind of feels away. Angela brings up her sister, getting in her daughter's face, says that, they don't talk and that their mother is in the middle. I know that type of dynamic. Just when I say Angela wants her to stand up for her like she did with Charles, because Charles had made a comment about her not doing no cleaning or whatever. Then she went into mom bear mode. That was 3 years ago, but she loved Charles. They hug it out, but nothing was really accomplished. But I'm gonna just let that alone. So we get Chloe and Kelly driving lessons. She want her mama to buy her a BMW, and she gonna help her with the restaurant. So then we get Drew and Mama Jeanette. This divorce has been taking 2 years. Jeanette feels that if Ralph had any compassion, that he would not put her in a situation to fail. But this is one of those where we're still only getting one side. And again, I know that the court documents have been, unsealed. I don't even feel like getting into all that. If they ain't saying it on camera, I don't care. What really got me is her saying that not this part. She said that the court's decision with the living situation was horrible. The kids have pretty much become unruly, and when she can't control a kid, it's a problem. And I feel like we're gonna talk more about this on the panel tomorrow. Because my whole thing is it's not that. It's that she comes from a certain generation, also being in this Father God religion. Again, I'm Jewish, so I'm part of that same monotheistic religion. But it's that whole sense of having control and whatnot, and feeling that you should be able to tell them anything and they just acquiesce to what you say, not realizing that if they go by what you say and not what their parents saying, this quote unquote authority, you are usurping your child's authority. But it's a whole thing. I ain't got it to do. We more than likely gonna talk about it tomorrow. Drew breaks down at that because, she didn't know that her mother has saw a change in the children, but they're in those developmental years to where this is going to follow them. And her mom is even taking into account that they're literally seeing the dissolving of this marriage. They're witnessing it, even though things aren't being talked about. So yes, they're acting out, but she feels that because she's praying to who, and that she's barking orders, that they just need to do what she said. And that's not how that goes, but I'm gonna leave that alone until tomorrow. So we get Shamia and Portia. Portia phone goes off. It's her mom. She says gonna call her back. Shamia feels away. Shamia asks her about her week and then goes straight into what happened at the previous event, because again, she started with small talk, but let's skip it. Shamia apologizes about not being forthcoming over the years. And Shamia brings up, Portia talking over her music and, talking over her, being dismissive. Portia yawns. Shamia wants to, possibly salvage this relationship. Portia wants them to have a productive conversation. No, Portia, you just want to not be held accountable. Shamia says, if I did the nonverbals that you do, that you would feel away. She then brings up, what Portia's mother has said. And, obviously Portia don't want to talk about that. And then she says, I want you to be the same with me off camera that you are on camera. And then she said, but you pretty much said to me that they will have to pay more. Portia saying this is scary and says, please stop. Then she walks away to gather herself saying, you're okay, whatever. Portia returned, asks, for the food to go. Portia is moving around the silverware to disrupt Shamia. They say, she doesn't. So Portia says she doesn't want to break up with her, says she's sorry. They hug it out and they agree to move forward. Again, nothing was really done there and pretty much a waste of time, but that was it. So that's all I got for y'all. Y'all see I'm actually on camera this time. All right. Okay. So with that being said, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all tomorrow. I believe we're either I think we're at Really B's house tomorrow. We'll see. I'll meet y'all there. All right. Peace out.